This is going to be just a short video for you to know what's the reaction of the so-called civilized world about the ongoing pogroms against the religious minorities in Syria by al-Julani's gangs. The European Union, or Kaja Kallas's office, European External Action Service, EEAS. Kaja Kallas's office basically strongly condemns the recent attacks, says that these attacks have been reportedly carried out by pro-Assad elements. This is what Kaja Kallas's office is basically telling you. A blatant lie. I watched the videos, you watched the videos, everyone watched the videos. There is a global outrage about the genocide, the ongoing genocide against the ethnic minorities in Syria, and Kaja Kallas's office is shamelessly spreading fake news about the country. How can you really explain this? Like, if you're European and you hear of or about this statement, I'm really serious. Like, imagine they have killed over 4,000 civilians. This is the preliminary initial reports. The footage that I'm receiving is horrendous. Like, they're not sparing anyone. They're not sparing men, they're not sparing women, they're not sparing teenagers, they're not sparing newborn babies, just like during the Armenian genocide. They're going from house to house and they're killing entire families, completely wiping them out. And afterwards, they are burning down their properties. This is a pogrom, what's going on in Syria, and we have to use the correct terminologies and words to describe it. And then we have the Foreign Ministry of Germany. Of course, I'm not surprised at all by Annalena Baerbock, but she's basically saying, we are shocked here in Germany by the number of victims or the numerous victims in the western regions of Syria. But first of all, she doesn't mention who is responsible for the killings, and she doesn't condemn al-Julani's regime, Al-Qaeda regime. But the foreign ministry basically says that we call on all sides to seek for peaceful solutions, national unity, inclusive political dialogue, and transitional justice. Basically, bullshit. A word salad. Offers nothing to the people. No condemnation, no urging, no cutting ties with al-Julani, no cutting aid. Germany sends tens of millions of euros per year to this type of people and their supporters in Syria. Nothing, basically. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked at all. At all. Because I don't believe that these political elites represent the civilized world. There's so many civilized people here in Europe. They do represent the civility of this continent. And many of them were present today in the demonstration in front of the Turkish embassy, condemning the Turkish-backed massacres against the Alawites, against the Christians in Latakia, Tartus, Jebli, in Banyas, in Homs, in Hama, and elsewhere. But we have a statement coming from the United States. I think this statement is the strongest among the Western governments, but there is a reason behind it, and I'm going to explain to you now. The U.S. State Department, or Marco Rubio, says the U.S. condemns the radical Islamist terrorists, including foreign jihadists, that murdered people in western Syria in recent days. The United States stands... Sorry, I'm reading behind the webcam on the... The United States stands with Syria's religious and ethnic minorities, including Christians, Druze, Alawites, and Kurds. This is exactly what the statement says. And the following up of the statement is... Just checking on my handy. Stay with me. Yeah. And the United States offers its condolences to the victims and their families, saying Syria's interim authorities must hold the perpetrators of these massacres against Syria's minority communities accountable. Now, why the rhetoric in the United States is different, and why have they mentioned these four religious and ethnic minorities in Syria? The answer is very simple, actually. Because the administration of Donald Trump and Marco Rubio are embedded with the Benjamin Netanyahu's government, and their end goal is the Balkanization of Syria, the partition of Syria. That's why they mentioned the Christians, Druze, Alawite, and Kurdish communities, and because those are the four regions they want to create an autonomous mini-states or partition Syria, Balkanize it. So now I think as we say in Arabic, al-tabkha jazi, like the meal has been cooked well and it is ready to be eaten. And the meal is the Syrian people, is the Syrian nationhood. And therefore, what the US is going to push forward in Syria, in collaboration with Israel and also Russia, to create an autonomous region for the Alawites in the coast, for the Druze to have an autonomous state or region in Asweda, for the Kurds to have their autonomous region, and yeah, Christians probably they're going to live with the Alawites. So I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the possibility is high, because there are no elements for resistance against such a project. There is no army, there are no political or military actors capable of aborting this mission or this end goal. I have met with a countless number of Syrians today in the demonstration, mostly from the coastal cities, and every one of them lost someone in this, like every single one of them. People were crying their eyes out and they were very desperate. And as you may know, during desperation, people may accept things that are like probably doesn't really fit their convictions or their morals or their principles, including saying, we don't mind foreign intervention to protect our families. We need international protection. But who is going to present international protection in this case? It's either going to be the United States or Russia or Israel. Who are the players? Let's see. I wanted to make this very short video for you to know about these absurd statements from the EU, from Germany, and the real meaning behind the statement made by Marco Rubio about Syria. See you on Monday.